All right, family. On a welcome, family. One for welcome on all on board the Tele to Richard Talk Show program. Today I got a special guest. We can do an exclusive interview. Welcome. If you just joining, share the video, tag a friend, tag a family, and loved ones. Them family can benefit from this program today. And family, don't forget say this program is being aired live on Star TV in Sierra Leone. I want to welcome you on board again. If you just join me, you're welcome to the Territory Talk Show program. And today we can talk to one of APC presidential flag bearer for 2023. Himself, they can talk about how he see President Bio don't govern the people of Sierra Leone for the past 4 years because himself will aspire for govern the people of Sierra Leone. So himself will need in your opinion on so far waiting President Bio don't do for the people of Sierra Leone. If the manifesto will say it don't complete from A to Z, how the SFC as opposition, and so many other things they what will be discussed today. So I want to stay tight and invite a friend and make we all have a say on the program. And don't forget, say yourself can take part on this program by sending in your messages in the comment section, and keep the conversation going and ask questions as well. And we will host the program as always, Richard Bangura Davis. And family, I just bring the guests right up. Make una siam. This is a big alejo today. Welcome, Dr. Richard Konteh. I want to welcome you on board the Tele to Richard Talk Show program today.
Yeah, thank you very much, Rachel. It's a pleasure to be here.
All right, we'll go straight to the program because we get plenty things then for talk about. I want to welcome you. And so far, I just ask you how your campaign they go so far.
Well, I think they go fine. I'm very happy with the feedback we they receive. I believe, say, with every passing day, things that they become better and optimistic.
All right, okay. So we don't get this talk all around the country where His Excellency the President, President Bio, being can make a statement even before in 4 years say he don't do everything like in manifesto. And but before we go into that, as somebody will be done into governance actively and now they're into opposition, how you see for the past 4 years, Usai Una be left the country and how it is now?
It is abysmal, to say the least. It is really unfortunate that people not the same for accept the reality, say things they're really terribly bad. Maybe part of the reason why they're not able to accept or face this reality is because maybe they're not the experiencer. Maybe, I mean, I just watch the documentary where you present, where they get clips from previous interviews, and I listen to the bit we talk about the lavish lifestyle where the first family they lead. We talk about the lavish lifestyle of members of that family. I think, say, that lifestyle is a total variance with the lifestyle of the average Sierra Leonean. We're now one of misery, one of poverty, one of unemployment, one of squalor. And what is even more worrisome, even for we as APC, as we look forward to coming back to governance in 2023, now how we will really be able to address some of these issues that they don't create,
But before you go far, you're talking
we,
about the lavish lifestyle. But one could say, una self, when una be there in governance, the APC equally be they live a very lavish lifestyle and not thinking about the people. You want to agree with that?
well, me not aware of that. When you talk about lavish lifestyle, I'm not aware of that. Where people living a fairly decent life, I would say yes, because but for say they believe it clearly lavish lifestyle at variance with wetin dey happen at the country generally. I'm not too sure about that one. Me not experience that. Definitely me, Richard Konteh, not live any lavish lifestyle. I not live any life way different from the life way I been live before I become a minister. And I not live any life way different from wetin I dey live now after I don't become a minister.
So let me talk about the economy because when the government, when the President Bio in government come to power, then they go on for they talk about how as the APC then turn and they una left the economy in a very very bad shape, and this is something they say consistently. Even now, when people are asking, we say all the money has to come out way missing at the audit report, but they keep referring to the APC. Una say una don't wreck the economy, una wreck the country before una they left, una leave the country economy in a very very bad state. What you get for say to that? Because that's a very a strong allegation against the SLPP, and you are part of that.
Yeah, and it's a very wrong one.
Yeah.
And it's a very false statement for make, because when APC left power in 2018, the then governor of the central bank he gave out a report or an assessment of the economy, and the state say we left reserves in excess of 500 million. And we left an economy way buoyant, an economy in which the private sector will flourish. People had jobs. Taxes were being collected not only from Wataki, from import duties, but we are collecting taxes from mining companies, we are collecting taxes from big businesses, and we're able to finance our economy, pay salaries, and also invest into infrastructure and other things. At the time where APC be the left, the debt burden, when they do the debt sustainability analysis, the rate with debt burden has been moderate. The debt risk has been moderate risk. Now, we are at very high risk as a country. That is very serious. And what
Yeah, what you mean by
what
Salon de
don't cause that?
you can elaborate on that a little bit. What you mean by
It means we get the debt where this country don't accumulate is so high.
from this government, you referring to this government, the SLPP
The
government.
SLPP government, yes.
Okay.
It's so high that they're not able to finance that. In fact, the total debt where these governments don't collect, accumulate, where they don't get it now, even if you put the total budget for 3 years together, the debt passer, and for just service then loans there, all the domestic revenue where government they collect, 43% of that revenue, it will go to just debt servicing, just for service the debts. And that is why some civil society groups don't even come up for now make an appeal to the bilateral, multilateral, and other donor institutions for make them grant we debt relief, because it don't become apparent that this country no go able for pay the debt, because normally the country in debt not for exceed 65% of GDP. Now it don't more than 100% of GDP, and it's very very serious. That is it. Another
Yeah,
reason
that's very that is very alarming. But you want for compare the debt way as APC been take during your time in governance, where una been take as to what you una do for the people of Sierra Leone or for the country with those debts where una accumulate when una be there in power, as compared to the debt where the SLPP president Bio don't accumulate, and you see any visible thing where the government don't do as compared to what una been taking the debt for and what una do for the people of Sierra Leone, where una be
Yeah,
getting.
thank you very much. And that is precisely who side the problem be. Yes, APC will be take debts for him, and we invest those resources in the infrastructure programs, the massive road projects the way we embark on, and we can get a whole list of roads from where we embark on all over the country. We invest in energy for able to increase the energy supply from less than 10 megawatts we inherit to nearly 300 megawatts by the time we left power. We able tar all the roads in every district headquarter town. We do major highways like the one from Kenema to Kailahun. We do the one from Wellington Ma- to Mashaka. We do the one to Guinea. We do the one to Liberia. We do the city roads in Freetown. We widen Wilkins Road. We widen Spur Road. We do the Regent Graft Road, etc., etc. We do over 30 kilometers of roads in the east part of the country. We do the Beach Road, along the Beach Road, etc., etc. Everybody where they come into this country, they basically see the marked infrastructural improvements that we will make over the years where we did in power, and you will see how we can use that for justify some of the loans that we will take for do those things. But waiting don't happen this time is that we not see what they do. There's not a single project where they initiate, they formulate, they raise funds for, where they implement and complete in 4 years. No.
But when they see
So
that they go and launch, when they go and launch projects, then they launch this, they launch that.
what did they launch? They launch Lunge Bridge, Unasia. Then terminate the Mamama Airport project on the mainland, where we for cost 350 million for get a brand new airport. For go build one terminal only, no runway, for $279 million. Then terminate the lead to the closure of so many mining companies in this country, so many big businesses, keep people out of their jobs and create a very high unemployment situation in the country. All because they don't understand the value of the private sector and how for doing. And they make, the wage bill. If you're not able to manage the wage bill like disaster, when APC be the left power in 2018, the wage bill was 165 billion per month.
And I mean, people have been complaining that the wage bill was very high at that time,
Was very high, but now it
including
is
the SLP
330 billion.
this governments with the complaints, say
Now it
the
is
wage bill
double.
be very high.
Now it is double. Now it is double. Now it is double. And that is the problem. Then just they indiscriminately fix salaries for their cronies. Then just they recruit people at random when sympathizers to the party without consideration of waiting the implication for that. And waiting don't become a very worrisome thing now is that since they not get any financing again for able to pay for this wage bill, they don't resort to what you call ways and means. They ask the Bank of Salon now, they float treasury bearer bonds and they borrow from the commercial banks for me to able to get liquidity, for able to pay basic things like salaries. And that they don't lead to a very serious problem. It don't make the loan don't devalue very seriously. It don't make the interest rates don't go very high, over 30% now. And it just don't make the whole economic situation very worrisome. I make where the IMF they can do their periodic reviews under the extended credit facility, and when they do the debt sustainability analysis for this weak country, they conclude say it's now at a very critical stage, and that is will border on recession, and that is very bad for our country.
So, talking about the economy, when I one team where Salon people, or Sierra Leoneans all over the world, they complain because even if you're not in the country, but they send money, they contribute to the GDP of Sierra Leone, even if you're not there as a person. So, and the economy at this point is very, very, worrisome compared to now. Guinea money don't get value past Salon money, and we don't look at the dollar rate, and things are the prices are very high in commodities and foodstuff and other things, then President Bio say, I mean, in don't do well in the economy. In fact, in don't do well in every sector where it will promise Sierra Leoneans the bread and butter issue. You don't achieve all of that. As an opposition, you want to agree to waiting this current government that they're doing very well with the economy as an opposition?
Yeah, unfortunate that such a statement come from a president. I wish he had been talking because in a far cry from the reality. The economy they in shambles, the exchange rate they at a free fall. Today, the exchange rate they now in excess of 13,000 leons to the dollar. And what's even more worrisome than the fact that the dollar is safe in even day at the country. And the reason why the dollar different reasons than they. But part of the reason are because them employ plenty people there where get their families abroad. And when they get their families abroad, every week, any money where they make, they get for convert it to dollars and send it out. So the black market for get $10 here, so it's very, very lucrative. And so that is the demand and supply issue where they look at exchange rates. And so they put a lot of pressure on the limited foreign exchange with the in circulation because the demand for them it increase every day because they get for the repatriate resources. And again, this again an election year, we don't also see a heightened effort at hoarding the currency. We be hearing where the minister of or the governor of the central bank himself, they say he been get for bribe the economy $64 million for make be able stimulate people, especially where it will bring the dollars back into the system. So they happen. But waiting now that they get a ripple effect on other areas of the economy. And one area where they become seriously affected now by this, now the oil, fuel. We get a situation now where fuel don't they in short supply. Will not get a reliable supply of fuel in the market. And as of today, the latest feedback where I don't get now that the oil marketing companies are running out of fuel. And possibly, if nothing not happen over the next few days, we will get another acute shortage of fuel at the market.
So,
I don't
so
really
why do
begin
you
to see the
think
queues.
why do you think
And
say
when
why
I
do you think
talk,
say
when I talk,
this
make
why
I
do you
finish.
think this can happen?
I now finish this point. Now finish this point. Yeah. When I talk to some of these oil marketing companies, what they tell me is that they not get foreign exchange for make them able to import the fuel. They not get. And waiting we be they do will be there in government, when I been there as Minister of Trade, where they oversee that sector. Now we work out a relationship with the central bank with the support of the Ministry of Finance for ensure say we ring fence a certain amount of dollars during the weekly auctions of the foreign currency we do for ensure say liquidity day, dollars day for the oil marketing companies that were able to bring in fuel. Because when anything go wrong with fuel in this country, it will get a ripple effect on everything else. Now look at it, don't happen to the price of rice. Now a bag of rice is 500,000 and rising. Every week you will get a new price. And when you set that against the situation wherein the minimum wage is 600,000 and the bag of rice is 500,000, it is very, very worrisome. By the time you
So
buy your bag of rice and take them to your house, your salary is done. How you could meet your other demands at the home?
so it's like from waiting at the get from you, are you trying to say like for say the government not get that kind, not able for manage the country or the people of Sierra Leone not get any kind of strategy for make sure say Salon people and get out of this abject poverty and boost the economy. You feel say they not get that experience and that managerial
No,
skills for managing
exactly,
the
exactly,
country. You really
exactly,
want to do
exactly,
that.
exactly, exactly. They don't demonstrate. Say they simply cannot. They have lost it, and they not simply get a clue on how to address this issue going forward. And
So, but
usually,
why?
then feel
Just
say,
hold on. Also, one thing that I noticed where you want for Claire today is like when something bad happen or something not go the right way, I realize that they tend for put them on the opposition. When it's not going right, they say they put on the opposition. For example, when that fuel crisis is just an example, but there's so many things when they don't call una out where things not to go fine at the country. Just the recent example when we have that petrol fuels shortage in the country, and they were referring to the APC specifically, where the first lady was targeting you that the MP petrol station is owned by the APC, and that is why people there, the APC they need to sell because they want to sabotage the government. That is also a strong accusation. And also, do you feel that was an incitement? Because we get angry young people, angry youth, we want for go school, we want for Okada, they ride the Okada, we want for work. And they're referring strongly, say, now APC then get them petrol station. And was that an incitement? And why they seem for calling her out all the time?
no, well, because they not get anything else for say, and so they just feel say they could just blame it on the opposition. But unfortunately for them, the people now they know. The people know the difference now between an APC government and an SFP government. The people now know it.
So
You know, and
what's
this is
what's the difference? Because people like you say APC and SFP are the same people, they're no more. Are the same, same corrupt people, they're no more.
well, it
And
takes
they want
it's
something different. So how the people of Sierra Leone for assess or for look at which kind perspective they for look at the APC as compared to the SL.
therefore compare the two parties in the following areas. One, let's look at peace and security. Never in the 10 years of APC will we get any situation where they get massive massacre of defenseless Sierra Leoneans, including Sierra Leoneans in prison, including Sierra Leoneans in Makeni for an ordinary generator, including a range of elections-related killings across the country and other types of upheavals will lead to those killings. We not ever experienced that under APC, especially as the area of peace and security. In the area of infrastructure, APC inherits 10 megawatts of power. Freetown was the darkest city in the world. Within 90 days, we light up Freetown, and by the time we finish in 10 years, we get over close to 300 megawatts of power. We see the roads in Freetown. We widen many roads. We fix up over 50 kilometers of roads inside Freetown alone. We fix up major highways, including roads in their strongholds. We do up all the headquarter towns in the country. We fix the roads, we provide water supply, we provide electricity, unprecedented in the history of this country. And we even with the Ebola, we been get an international, people like you forget, say, when we come into power in 2007, in 2008, that will get the global economic crisis, where affects the whole world. But Sierra Leone will be able for manage the economy and weather that storm day and come out of it even stronger. So that by 2011, 2012, going to 2013, we'll be the fastest growing economy in Africa. We succeed with that until we Ebola coming. But even when Ebola coming, we government began to implement certain measures for make sure, say, we regulate or we put a check on spending and other fiscal control measures for ensure, say, the economy not spiral out of control. We do that, and everybody able to see that. Waiting we see now a situation wherein It's a far cry from that. There is no peace, there is no security, there is no, the economy is in shambles. Teachers are not being paid, nurses are not being paid, people are going on strike because of poor conditions of service, etc., etc. And that is very worrisome for we, and we dey hope say this government, instead of continuing with the false propaganda, for really take time for do some introspection and try to see what they can do for reverse the trend. And part of waiting they need for the way, unfortunately, they don't even get the time for do again, and for try to see how they can really attract some credible, meaningful, viable private sector investments into the country. Right now, the money where they generate as revenue, as I tell you earlier, 43% they go to debt service in alone, 30% they go to salaries, only 27% 9 day for run the whole country. Well, it is just not enough. And that make basically when you go into the MDAs, virtually nothing is happening. The only thing where they don't succeed for do very well now for buy a fleet of new cars. If you go around the city, they see all types of brand new government vehicles, very expensive ones to fly all over the place. That's why they've done a very good job.
Una self do una tell me governance, una self be the buying it.
No, not to this extent. Not to this extent. The number of new vehicles where at the sea around, government vehicles are unprecedented in the history. If you can afford them, it's okay. If you can afford them, it's okay. But in a situation wherein you cannot even pay salaries, wherein the people are suffering, and every day you hear people in the talker, even Chris Manda in the talker now, because they see how they beat Blacker every day because they say the truth. You see now how Okada riders, the situation has become so untenable for them. For example, a few days ago in Kenema, they began to come out and protest. We see how traders, they take their markets, they go for go sell, nobody they for go buy. Prices then they increase by the day. Even way the tax regime, the way that they apply them, the tax regime, especially GST, it just don't make sense. GST was supposed to be an end-use tax. They don't decide to apply as a withholding tax. But waiting than they mean, therefore, that it don't, instead of 15%, people are paying 30, 45, 60% on a case-by-case basis. They apply as a withholding tax, they also simultaneously apply them as an end-use tax. And it just increase the burden for the consumer, because any amount of money where the trader spend for bring in your own goods, it is transferred to the consumer. And when the consumer, they suffer, either you buy very expensive if you can afford that, or you not buy at all because you not get, and if you not buy at all, the business person they suffer. So we get to a situation wherein not only the consumer is suffering and complaining, but even the businessmen are suffering and complaining. So nothing seems to be working.
All right. Okay. Make it all on the first. During the presidential debate, I think in 2018, President Bio been say the APC, especially the president, the former president, where you were part of that governance, say if they travel too much, or if they travel with so many people, then and when it come into power, it will come block all of them leakages and make sure say it cuts on lens and so that the country go able to use those resources for develop the country. But take a listen to this, and also waiting happen afterward. Take a listen to this.
There is excessive expenditure on foreign travels. These are things that we have to stop.
A few moments later.
There is a change. And remember, plenty people will say, fly like a bird. I'm not there for fly, but for salmon, I'm there for fly. I remember I go Japan. The hotel I want enter, they say you're not going to enter Naya. The previous government, they can Naya, they not pay. When I get for pay them first, before we know they enter. With all my company head of state, they don't get them hotel room, they don't rest. I've been get for pay the debt first, what we get, and pay all our money now for pay for where we enter. We've been get for clear them time, but in all over the world. Many know say a new government day with good intention. And to a very large extent, I will tell you now say, If you like Israeli and you go out of this country, if then they talk about Salon, how other people they respect you, you will not believe. Because Mrs. Akinsidan in a state of disbelief, where you change.
Okay, Dr. Richard Konteh, this now a very strong allegation by the president, His Excellency the President, accusing former President Nkrumah, which you were part of that government. You were actively involved. Like I said, there's another strong accusation. So, can you give us just an overview quickly of how traveling can look like, presidential traveling can look like when you are invited out to those countries, and what's in the process? Because the president make a strong allegation against Una, say Una no pay, Una get a serious debt in Japan, and because of that, when he was embarrassed. All of the other presidents that we don't want at their room, don't relax, drink and have fun. And Indian adult, they struggle how for pay. Una your debts, where Una left now, Japan. So please, can you walk us through how this presidential travel look like and whether these accusations are really true?
Rachel, this is really unfortunate that the president can say that. In the first place, when he makes such a statement, it just indict in staff. And it just succeed for make people then really confirm either the incompetence of his staff or the inability of his government for do the right thing. First of all, make one thing clear. When presidents they travel, there are two types of trips. There are official trips where the president is invited to an official function, and there are private trips. For official trips where the president they make, usually the host country and they cover in accommodation and related costs, hospitality, it's given like a package, and they provide them usually in a number of rooms and a number of cars, and all bills are paid, etc., etc. I don't accompany the president on a number of occasions. I'm not ever aware of any situation on official trips where presidents they go to nap for tow line, for check-in, for a room, and even where.
So how is it done? Because I want to paint a picture. Yeah.
I don't give you two examples. I say when it's an official trip, it's all paid for, it's all provided for, and your embassy go down where they cover that country, go there in advance, they could arrange everything. The keys would have been collected. When the president arrived, you go straight to a room. When, on the other hand, the president they go for a private trip, in either case, they go down usually, but even some official trips when at the Salon country they pay. Let's say, for example, we would go for the UN. We they transfer the money for those costs to the embassy in New York. And New York go down book the rooms and pay for them in advance of the arrival of the president. Not to when the president.
Any business with key.
No. It's not true. It's not true. It's not like that. And this issue has been investigated by the Africanist press, and they don't prove them for be wrong. And it's just one of those attempts for distort the truth. It is. But in the process of trying to distort the truth, they really expose the inadequacies, which is really unfortunate. I wish I had not been trying that with it.
So on another left, so there is no debt, because I want to make a comment from you. Like I said, you were part of governance at that particular time.
It's not possible. It's not possible.
It is not
possible to make a president. It's not possible to make a president travel when a accommodation not sorted out in advance. It is always sorted out in advance. The bills are paid for in advance. Is accommodation sorted out? Accommodation, feeding, all related issues, transportation, everything is sorted out in advance. Now make it get, apart from the diplomatic team, where they on the ground, they get an advanced team, where they also go ahead of them for make sure say all of these things are arranged and it will be seamless. If any president go face those types of situations, it will fire in staff. instead of blaming the opposition. Now, you don't start for fire because they not do their job.
Wow. But like I say again, could that be one of the reasons why we need to get investor? Because the president keep referring to the APC, say, oh, I mean, una don't left bad name all side of the world. I mean, it's terrible, and it's shameful for we as Sierra Leoneans for say una as APC, una don't give it bad name now all over the world. So una put up and travel now. For the past 4 years, una the APC, una don't put President Biop and travel for what clear all we una bad name them. We una don't give Sierra Leoneans, even Salon people. He mentioned, I think, Germany. So he keeps going to all of those places to for clear the bad thing away. What have you guys done so bad way? I mean, invest on anything for camp. Probably now make President Biot say he need for go clear Salon name. Now all of this country, even when we get ambassadors and embassies in some of those countries that can do that PR for the government.
You know, it's really interesting that he has done so well for give a positive image of in country and correct the ills of APC, but now under in watch defeat don't come on at this country. Now under in watch the Germans don't withhold their aid. Now under in watch British Council don't close at this country. Now under in watch big mining companies they don't close shop. Now under in watch brewery don't close shop, it don't go. That speaks volumes. But let me say this. For MEC, under the APC administration, between 2011 and 2012, Sierra Leone advanced to become the 6th most improved country for ease of doing business in the world. 6th most improved country for ease of doing business in the world. And during that period, for the first time ever in the history of Sierra Leone, we host in Sierra Leone an international investment forum. We bring together over 300 investors. And some of them succeed for move on to the point for even sign deals and start operations in this country. One of the things where the private sector always need, now the assurance that when they enter into any agreement, that agreement will be respected. That another governor will just come tomorrow and terminate. The moment the investors then lost confidence in the agreements where they sign and they not see any assurance, say they go able to do business and make their money, then they pull out. Now, only 419 companies where they thrive on corruption or where they thrive on disorganization, now they go stay. But any credible one, it go. And that is a very serious problem. Secondly, the tax regime. You know, then therefore look at the tax regime. They set them against other countries where get the same types of facilities and other advantages and try to see whether it makes sense for make them stay in here or not. If at the end of the day, the entire rate of return or the money, whether they make the profits, is not worth it, then they go. Thirdly, then therefore look at waiting now the services that were available. Look at the financial services. We are the banks in this country strong enough for able to initiate international transactions? Are they strong enough for support these big businesses? It is either they are not strong enough or we are not creating the atmosphere for make with banks they're able to benefit from being able to initiate some of these procurements and other things for force the foreign exchange for coming to this country. But we see most of the time now from outside they initiate all of this procurement and a big loss to the commercial sector. So that issue is not being dealt with. The energy, most of the mining companies therefore resort to their own power supply, independent power supply, and it's very expensive. They would rather go to other countries where get a national grid where they can just hook onto. It costs less, and the cost of doing business overall would be cheaper. And also they also need time for recreation and do other things. So the social amenities were also available in this country. All of these things can help. So it's all of this put together and they encourage the private sector for where they come in and stay. And now when the private sector then come in, they make money, then they able to pay tax to government, and they able to create jobs for people. You know, I can talk, I'm always in my interviews, I say, part of the problem of this country now because we don't make government the sole employer. Very few people, they get jobs outside the government setting. And so therefore,
why you say that?
Because the private sector, no, they do well. For make they're able to create the jobs where go be better paid and better incentives and all the rest of it for the Sierra Leoneans. So everybody they clamor for the few jobs who are available inside government. So where they don't exist, you create openings through executive approvals and executive orders, etc., etc. And that explains why we don't bloat the wage bill. But if we get a private sector, we buoyant. I mean, look one pathetic case. Ambulance did in the village. The ambulance gets 6 drivers. One ambulance, 6 drivers. Job for the boys. How can you put 6 drivers for one ambulance? You know, and that is the type, I believe, say, where it happened in the village, like that they happen in other villages. Every ambulance, 6 drivers.
All right, okay.
And that is where the problem comes from. So
all right, let's talk about you mentioned corruption while you were making your analysis as to why investors are not coming in and all of that. Let me talk about corruption because that's another strong allegations by this government and even the people of Sierra Leone at that time when be they in power say APC, the very corrupt. And all the, Ebola Monica inside the audit report, there was a damning audit report waving come out at that time. And former President Kurma being fair enough for maybe Auditor General being pull them out, even though it was not a good report. So we give kudos to that, But it was a very damning report at that time for the APC. So because of that, it gets some people then worried and furious as to the kind corruption where the APC party do, and you were part of that government. And the president now, President Bios, being strongly be able to convince Sierra Leonean in campaign statements or speeches, say it will come for fight corruption, it will come with accountability and transparency. And when that some of the pillars of democracy and good governance. So we all embrace that. And we see how we start for fight against some of the former government officials. And we see how he do the commission of inquiry and all of that, the findings. So how can you compare, first of all, and with waiting the audit report, don't say now about the SLPP government, how waiting come under the audit report, although according to African Express and other people that it was doctored somehow, but still something they come out. So how are you able for compare and contrast to the allegations that they make against the APC as compared to waiting we see now with VI in real time?
Yeah, Rachel, make us start for put everything in context. Before APC came to power in 2007, audit reports were never made public. Now APC start for make audit reports then public, and now APC begin they ensure say corrective measures are taken on audit reports, and Parliament get a responsibility for playing that. Now APC start that. Now APC also get it to the anti-corruption law, because the law we've been there before be sort of limit the powers of the Anti-Corruption Commission. For example, they not get the power to prosecute, and so government officials they get away with murder because of the system. So APC come then get it to the Anti-Corruption Commission. After that don't happen, then APC every year when they get the audit reports, they not ever interfere with the report. even where they report critical of government, they direct the various MDAs for provide explanations where they exist. And in many of the instances, the explanations were satisfactory and those issues were cleared. Because audit reports are audit reports, and sometimes they not immediately suggest guilt until you are able to respond. But even though, of course, there are some cases wherein it is so blatant and it is so true, like the issues about double dipping and the issues about fake receipts and other things we don't
That's
discover
the first
the
time
huge
in
amount.
history we had that
And,
kind
and
of.
those things are unprecedented in the history of Sierra Leone. For MEC, then see from the high office of the country that they forge receipts, we see the huge sums of money unaccounted for across all MDs. What is happening now is unprecedented, and that is not right. And when the Auditor General decide for bring out such a report, then suspend her. That has never happened. It is unprecedented in the history of Sierra Leone. Then you bring in the talk about the about the Commission of Inquiry. You know, Naya, the president, I listened to Ram, where there be the interview about the issue about in finance minister. He go ahead for talk say, na mere accusation, and that until the issue is proven beyond all reasonable doubts, the man continue to be a free man. But that is precisely what he did not do with the COI. Before even then they set up the COI, they don't do the government transition team report. And in that report, they simply vilify the past government and make all types of accusations against the government, accusing the past government of all types of things, outlandish accusations, as it may. Almost all of those accusations turn out to be false. And because of the desperation for proof, waiting unprovable, then go ahead with the COI with the very legal foundation for the COI not correct. Yesterday, I listened to AYV, where one lawyer, where they hire him by the Bar Association, for go to court for seek interpretation for Article 150 of the Constitution. Basically, where states say the rules of evidence for a commission of inquiry for be set by the rules of court committee. Basic. Meaning you don't go come for can referee a match, we not get rules. And then as the game they go, you begin determine waiting a foul, waiting a penalty, waiting a offside. They happen that way. If we don't be clear before they start the game about waiting a penalty, waiting a offside, waiting a throw, waiting a goal, everything for don't clear, then they start the game. So that it will be on the level playing field. It don't happen. And when because they don't start on the wrong foundation, and I challenge, and we say the law officers department write an advisory note to the Chief Justice, unprecedented in the history of Sierra Leone, calling on the Chief Justice for recuse himself from the matter because they say you cannot be your servant in your own cause. You not be a judge for your own case. Because
I just want us to look at directly the audit report, the Auditor General report, the 2020 report, Auditor General report. I want to we look at them as compared to how people, or this government of the President BOB strongly they accuse about corruption. And when you look at the Auditor General report, the 2020 report, from the figures that we saw, is more. In fact, I think it's triple more than all of the president, past president. So I just want you let yourself put small, not say small, because then we don't accuse you now. So what do you think? What's your opinion on that audit report?
I think we all don't say over and again that it's a damning report. But let's not even overplay the 2020 report. Look, from 2019 audit report, 2020, 2021 audit reports, they are terrible. And they expose a lot of things. Unfortunately, the institutions will get a responsibility for ensure say they hold people there to account no dey do am. And now in the midst of all of this,
So which
even the
institution? You mean the Anti-Corruption Commission?
Anti-Corruption Commission, yes.
So the
And now
Anti-Corruption
in the
Commission,
midst of all of this,
Kelfala, no, they do as it is expected.
yeah, I think we'll get an even kill. Therefore, they balance some of these outright cases of corruption. I think say they're not for try for use technicalities for push the things under the rug, because even the average man in the village is now aware of some of these things. So you can no longer fool us, and we are feeling it. It is not only about us observing this case of corruption, we are feeling it and we are living it by the day. And so when you try to play down some of these issues, it hurts. It hurts, and that's why the people are complaining, and that is why you would see Okada riders coming out and demonstrating, traders coming out and demonstrating, teachers coming out and demonstrating, other workers coming out and demonstrating.
But as an opposition, because this corruption issue now been one thing where the SLPP will use against the APC and run with unto the people of Sierra Leone. And now we don't see a damning report from their own side too. And we have not seen much of the opposition coming out and speak out on this issue of corruption, because it is very key to Sierra Leoneans. Honestly, now it makes Salome, they are we did so because of all of these corrupt practices in governance. We have not seen more from the opposition coming out the way the SLPP come after us seriously and make the people of Sierra Leone understand how much corruption damage what the APC will do in the country.
Well, I not think say the opposition not come out as forcefully as the need for come out. I think say the facts are all out there for everybody to see, and I believe say the opposition don't do their own bit for try for bring to the fore some of those issues and for call on the relevant institutions for do their work. You see, let us not forget. When you're unfortunate say some of we countries they're not did too much into the global economic financial system to an extent that just a statement. Some of these statements then we come from this government, SLPP government, do they enough for crumble the economy of a country? Can you imagine if the president of America makes some of the statements the way they make at this country, or the Janet Yellen for make some of those statements the way we finance minister they make at this country at the time when they take over? This economy will be total shambles. We are a government in waiting. Whilst we acknowledge that these things are happening, we will not go take any action. We will crumble the economy and cause more pain and suffering. So what we are doing so far.
Let me cut you there. I'm sorry to cut you there. You say Una Sidom and they wait for 2023. But while you're waiting,
I'm not call 2023. I say we not go do anything. We go make this entire economy crumble and we increase the suffering for the masses. So what we are doing, we are bringing to the fore these concerns and call on the institutions for take the appropriate action. And the only action way we now don't take it, that for take to the streets.
So
and we are not.
In your opinion, you think say the opposition, your party as the majority opposition, it's been very effective so far?
I think all the institutions will make up the APC has been very effective in bringing to the fore the inadequacy of this government, the corruptness of this government, and the things the way they do for hurt this country. we don't succeed for bringing her to the fund, everybody knows. Waiting we not don't do, and where we not go do, and for take to the streets. Because we are a very responsible government, and we are a government in waiting, and we not go do anything for destabilize this government. So therefore, we call on the relevant institutions and remind them that they have a solemn obligation to the state. Their loyalty for be to the Constitution, their loyalty for be to the various acts we establish them, and we call on them for take the appropriate actions.
All right. Before we go to my own inner party politics, I want to just ask, like, what's in the APC? We all understand, like you said, the people of Sierra Leone. Majority of we understand what's in the go on. We understand the corruption. We understand what is going on. What's in the president don't do. What's in don't do. Although it talks say it don't do everything, where we go cancel towards the end. But apart from all of that, where the opposition they talk about, or where we say no, what's in different where APC will bring at the table this time around, where come 2023, what it will be on a messaging to the people of Sierra Leone? Because when we don't come, when I don't go, when we there in power, when I don't the opposition now. So what kind of messaging will you bring to the people of Sierra Leone this time, where you know say Sierra Leone people will gravitate to, and Sierra Leone people will hold that as a hope or a promise where they will take courage for till 2023?
The most important message, a message of unity. APC will unify this country. This country has been polarized in ways it has never happened in the history of this country. And it gets an untold effect on the entire national fabric. So when APC comes back in 2023, we will reunite this country and make every Sierra Leonean feel himself a part of the governance architecture, and make we give every Sierra Leonean an equal and unfettered opportunity for actualize in your potentials. We will continue with the development strides where APC known for over the years. We will continue with the infrastructure development in the areas of roads, in the areas of energy, in the areas of water, etc., etc. We will continue with the education programs. We don't see how the quality of education don't drop so significantly under this administration, to the point that under their watch, they see institutions the way then, don't say 2 years ago with
Okay.
They award degrees under the mango tree, and some of these degrees are being awarded to very senior government functionaries. It hurts when some of we think about how many years it take we forget a doctorate, and then we can realize that somebody can just go for 1 day under the mango tree, they go get a doctorate degree. Then if they get the audacity for work out, because you know you can have a honorary doctorate degree, but you don't need for parade yourself with her. Because you don't go college, you don't go school for them. It's just honorary. You know, but people then they get minded, they work out, they put her in front of their names, that they sign official documents. And even in parliament, now we're understanding that senior people in parliament also have these fake degrees. Yesterday, I've been listening to AYV. I see say parliament don't set up a committee, but when they say they go investigate, but I say, when I start with parliament first, when I investigate yourself first in parliament, the one day inside parliament, we get these fake degrees before they go out.
Controversy. There's a lot of controversy, of course, where they go on with Ye Dominion, Ye PhD, and it was surprising to me where the ACC boss Ben Kefala say, as long as they don't use them for get into that kind of to the position where they
so don't give back pedal.
But again,
don't give back pedal on that. They back pedal on that now.
Yeah. I understand, but that was my initial statement. But like you said, these people are all position of trust. If you sign on behalf of Sierra Leone, you go out and lobby on behalf of Sierra Leone with that kind of title, then I don't think say Sierra Leonean for able for trust you for putting in that kind of position. But anyway, this is why I say, Ona, when you now one of the person that way they where strongly they contest for this flag bearership for APC 2023, and people then will say, outside the flag, I mean, with all of what they happen at the country, with the see the police brutality, with the see not freedom of expression, with the see when the opposition talk, they don't invite them as CID, sometimes they lock them up for 1 or 2 days, and all of those things, here and there. But we know the see una want for take the country 2023. We know the see una they really come out and speak for the people. Even though you don't have an elective position in the party, but as a Sierra Leonean and somebody who wants to lead the country, we need to see more of now they come out and challenge the government on some of these things where we don't say in our rights for Salone people.
Well, I'm not a spokesman for the other campaigns within the party, but I believe the Unifier campaign has been very outspoken on all the issues, from COI to census, to NCRA, to elections, to violence, to killings. The Unifier campaign and its leader, Dr. Richard Konteh, has been very, very vocal.
But you not think say this
Dominion,
this doctor issue Dominion, especially with the IG being part of this whole scam, it's not something. I'm not think say as an opposition, it's something that you should make noise about for make the IG resign or something, because this is something that we will hold against one of the leaders. Then say, where were you when those things were going on? Also want to voice them in there, because somebody like Inspector General of Police and involved in this such a scam should be fired or should resign. And as an opposition, as a unifier, I think you should lend your voice strongly on that issue.
I think we party issue a statement immediately after this thing happened, and it draw the attention of government to that, and it call on government to take the appropriate action. We parliamentarians in parliament don't set in motion a process for seek proper thorough investigation and for me to take action. The Anti-Corruption Commission don't backtrack on imposition on that issue, and we see now that they take steps towards that. Unfortunately, we no go force this government for do anything, but one thing where me will say as Richard Konteh
on put pressure, they force them, but as an opposition, we not aim for put pressure so that it could draw the attention of moral guarantors.
How?
Dr. Richard Konteh, I mean, not there in governance. I mean, you have been in governance before and you're in opposition now. So you know how these things happen. You know, the more the opposition speak out, the more attention it gets to our moral guarantors in the country and even the international community. So I think, we have not seen much of the opposition in pinpointing certain issues that where Sierra Leoneans are so much concerned about, especially this PhD gate issue, and also the police brutality and so many other things that West Sierra Leoneans they suffer from. They have not seen much of you coming out and speak out and even be forceful with your voice so that it can attract international attention.
You say, me not a spokesman for the APC. The spokesperson for the APC will speak about it, but me as Richard Konteh and as a Unifier campaign, we've spoken out on all of these issues. But like you say, there is a limit to what we can do because we will not occupy any formal position inside the party. But with every opportunity where we get as a campaign, we've raised these issues. I don't also tell you, there's a limit to what you can do when you're in opposition. All you can do is talk. All you can do is create awareness, raise the issues. And I believe, we don't do them. Whether or not we don't do it sufficiently is another question. The only thing we can do in some of these issues are to take to the streets. But APC leadership don't take the wise decision, not for resort to that, because we not believe that is the best option. That if it be a last last resort for resort to. We will not think say it don't get to that point yet, we'll go resort to that. But I believe say we are mobilizing our people.
Even when they go kill people in McKinney, even
Yes,
Tombo, even Pademba Road is another issue where the opposition could really
we don't call
very strongly
we don't call
because
for
it
a
don't pass
thorough
1 year now
investigation.
and they go 2 years. So
Yes, we don't call on the international community for intervene. We don't see the report of the U.S. Embassy we come out just last week or this week. We don't see it was a very damning report. We don't see other reports from other embassies that don't come out. Basically, if these embassies are raising these issues, it means the opposition has raised these issues. When the EU delegation will come, we'll make a representation, strong representation. I was part of the party's delegation. We raised those issues to them, and we saw them mentioned in their reports. When we met with the international community under the auspices of the UN, we also raised those issues, and they have been reflected in statements that have been made. So, in diplomatic parlance, I think the necessary sensitizations and awareness and noises have been made in the appropriate quarters. The unfortunate thing is that we have in this government a government will really listen, and the government will just believe say then they can do anything their own way. So the only option where they feel say we for resort to violence, and we are not doing that.
Will you want to agree?
That.
We want to agree that if not for, because we know Una party is going through a lot of infighting as to terms of the chairmanship, the court case, and so many infighting. We can all agree to that, and we all understand that. If you think say if Una not been get this infighting within the party, that the APC could have been very much effective as Una right now?
Rachel, me no see the infighting inside APC. I not see. You see, let's make a distinction between having a leadership where simply maybe either not willing or not capable for do the right thing, and a party in disarray. I don't think ours is a party in disarray. Maybe we get in the current leadership people them way not ready for take the right type of actions. But I believe say within the framework of we internal democracy, we internal party politics, the necessary pressures have been brought to bear. The new constitution, for example, where we don't get, it not come easy. It not come easy. We'll not take to the streets, we'll not fight, but internally, intelligence battles we are fought, and we have a new constitution. And we are now hoping that very soon the court case will end. Wait till we get in a party, now a normal power struggle. And whenever there is a transition from one administration to another within parties, usually we get those types of issues. Unfortunately, we get a situation wherein external forces also tie the party. Well, I don't want to be too explicit deliberately, but I believe say the issues where they hold me down at the courts.
What do you mean by the external forces?
For example, we are in court. The party not get any control over the speed with which the courts will move with the matter. So we are waiting. But I believe, say, as a party, we are taking preemptive steps for ensure, say, whenever the court decide for come up with the ruling, for example, we as a party go able to react appropriately and make sure so we move, we process forward. It's a very dicey situation we are in. It's a very difficult situation we are in, but I don't think that we are in disarray. I don't think that there's any conflict where it is just a normal struggle for power where exists the party. And I believe, say, that process will end. We will get a new leadership inside the APC, and we all will come together stronger and more determined, because that force way for bind we together is stronger than any force way for set we apart. And I believe say when we look at the overall goal and the need for make we stay together for achieve that goal, for remove SLPP out of power in 2023, that desire will bring we together, and we believe say we'll get the leadership with the in me. Dr. Richard Konteh for SPF us follow we go before in that.
Okay, I see why you're being called the unifier, because from today when we talk, your main focus is about unity, bringing the country together, bringing the party together. I think that is why I just assume that's why they call you the unifier. But let's go. You're talking about power struggle, and quite recently we see former President Koma don't make an official statement, say he go get for resign from that chairmanship way. It was another big issue within the party, and it focused on international commitment or international and duties then were assigned to him. So were you one of the person that way we feel say former President Kurma for left the chairmanship and allow other people and for step into that shoes?
I be once talked to a former president. Now he tell me say an actor, the best time where an actor for left the stage, now when the ovation is loudest. They left the stage when the ovation done. The exit no go be respectable. And so therefore, I've always been of the view that whilst we acknowledge the excellent role where President Nkrumah don't play, whilst we acknowledge, say, in legacy, we beloved country, whilst I acknowledge that, and whilst I know say he go forever remain for be a godfather, I also not believe say he get for stay in power as leader and chairman indefinitely. And I also believe say because he don't be a former president, he cannot, we not go able to come back for contest because of the limitations of 46(1) of the constitution. It's not proper for make they continue for refer to as the opposition leader. Therefore, in personal discussions with them, group discussions with them, 1 year ago, 2 years ago, I already know say he's not continuing. He just stay on because this case na court it linger on far beyond waiting we've been they expect as a party.
Okay.
We been feel say this thing if we don't over by now, and if we don't get with constitution, with convention by now, if we don't get a new leadership, and it would have gone. No one left the party in crisis. Now make it stay on this long. But the issue about him going has never been in doubt, at least not to me. And that is why, for me, it not come as a surprise, because I knew we needed to get to that stage and the party needed to move on. And I believe, say, President Nkrumah were able to serve with party better as a statesman, as an international figure, than if he continue as leader and chairman. I believe, say, now the time for fresh phases. I don't get the privilege for talk to diplomats in this country from various embassies. What they say is that they want to see a new face. They want to see a new face for the APC. They want to see a new APC ready to move on. And I believe, say, me, Dr. Richard Konteh, now that new face, we could present a different way of looking at issues. We could be a link to between the old and the young. We transition well.
We say you, Richard, because now we don't talk about you, and so let's quickly round up with your campaign. The Unifier campaign. So how you think say you go be the new face, because you were part of governance during former President Nkrumah in time, and you serve in governance for a long time, and now you want for take the party, you want for lead the party to come 2023. What thing you think say make you stand out from all other flag bearer, and why you think say you could be the new face between the old and the new APC?
Thank you very much. One thing we make a possibly stand out, now because I don't demonstrate my love and loyalty to my party over the years, even in the midst of all types of party, and I don't demonstrate say I love my party. I don't demonstrate say I can unify this party. I don't able reach out to my colleague flag bearer aspirants, and we are coming together. We are having an understanding of each other. We are engaging each other, focusing on the bigger picture for our party. I don't able reach out to the length and breadth of this country, to those areas where they call the strongholds of the SLPP, for make them understand says there's somebody that cares for them. When they know say they are an integral part of the APC, and the Southeast can become a stronghold of the APC again. And when they see in the APC an anchor, somewhere they can come and feel them a part of this the architecture, and where they can come and make their own contributions. My time in government give me the opportunity for understand the workings of government. But the good thing again about me is that before I enter into government, I spent some time in civil society across West Africa. I rise for becoming a leader in civil society activism in West Africa. So I understand the issues out there. I work as a humanitarian person. I work as a peace builder, So I understand the issues out there. I understand the issue of governance. And now I'm in the private sector. I'm a businessman. I also understand the concerns and issues. So when I talk about the issues of business, the issues of investors, I understand it. When I talk about the issue of taxation, I not only be a finance minister, we're not involved in issues of taxation at the national level, but I don't also at the practical level in the field. Don't do. So I'm able to understand the issues, and therefore, over this period, I also don't understand the weaknesses, the challenges we would face, and possibly how I believe say we can deal with them. And I don't get the opportunity, even in the President Nkrumah administration, for 4 years, I was outside looking in and see what was happening. It gave me an opportunity for some retrospection. And now, again, in this government for 4 years, I don't also get the opportunity for stay out and look. So I don't also make some comparisons, and I don't already begin to increasingly get things clear in my mind about what needs to be done for fix it. And I believe, say, I can do it. And lastly, I don't demonstrate, say, I can lead my party against the SLPP and win.
That was exactly what I want to ask you. Say, if you
I don't demonstrate, say, I can lead my party into the Southeast and get votes for the APC. I can ensure that the votes of the APC are protected. I can ensure that the votes are counted. I can assure that when APC wins, nobody can steal that victory from us. That is what sets me apart. And that is what I think we need. We need somebody who can unite our party, who can unite our country, who can lead our party to victory in 2023. And Richard Konteh has demonstrated that he is a real APC born. I've never registered or joined any political party in the world. APC is my only political party and will remain my only political party. And we are ready to bring APC back to power.
Assuming you become the flag bearer to lead the party, what do you think, say, will be the urgent need for Sierra Leoneans, or for Sierra Leone as a country, after election? What do you think, Salon lead? If you become the president of Sierra Leone, what will be your first priority for Sierra Leone as a country?
Healing. We need to heal the divide. It's not helpful.
You mean healing? We need healing.
Healing the divide in this country. That will be my first priority. Once that one is sorted out, then we therefore quickly try for see how we can fix the economy. And I'm looking at the economy here broadly. It's not only about income and expenditure issues in terms of fiscal and monetary policies in the Ministry of Finance, but it's also about how we can attract foreign investments into this country, and because that is the only way we can have the extra capital we would need for us to be able to meet the other development needs of this country. And then, of course, human capital development or those related issues. So we are going to address these issues in that sequence.
Okay, so as we close, let's close on to President Bio and your final statement to your APCN as your campaign is going and is getting intense by the day. But let's close on this, and as an opposition and somebody one day inside governance, I want you for react to this, because you did a salon, you see, you feel, you hear, even though probably you know they go through as the way other Sierra Leoneans and they go through, but I quite no say, as long as you did a salon, even when we were not in a salon, we feel and we hear. Take a listen.
You know, they cost anybody. You tell and say, well, me na politics. I can't talk to you about. Me government, they don't do A, B, C. They go take, you pass Z. Because the manifesto will be put out, when are the written document of the things that will be say they do, when I will put out, we don't done that one day. The things that we do, in fact, we don't do more things than the day inside the manifesto.
All right. We go. I just want your input as somebody from the opposition, and also the man where one lead the APC and also one serve the people of Sierra Leone. What do you make of this? The President Bio, in statement as to in 4 years when inside this month April, and waiting with the Sina Salon. What's your thoughts on this?
Sincerely, when I listen to that statement, I ask if now this country are they, or that's alone they talk about. But maybe if they really go for confirm, say they not be mean for doing anything good in this country, because I'm not saying anything they do. They have achieved virtually nothing. So maybe if they are saying that they have exceeded expectations, it means they really not come for do anything. But I trust that there's one area where they definitely don't exceed expectations in the area of travels and luxurious living. Definitely they don't exceed expectations in that area. In the area of corruption, yes, there's definitely don't exceed expectations in that area. Then go far beyond expectations.
So they break on a record.
Yeah, no, that you they set the new record. They have really exceeded, in the area of bringing suffering to our people. Definitely they exceed that record day. So definitely in those areas, yes, I agree with them. They exceed expectations.
All right, so
in the area of killings, again, definitely they exceed expectations. The type of things that way don't happen under their watch, you're unprecedented. So definitely those areas they exceed expectations. I agree with them.
But not for the good of Sierra Leone.
No, definitely.
Before you go, just a quick one. Before you left your message, just a quick one. Something that comes to my mind. You don't then a government, and you want to vie for the highest position in government as well, when at the presidency. Do you really have to travel, make all this international travel for make you able for build your country?
No.
Considering all the resources that we have?
It's not worth it. When I look at President Magufuli, whether some late President Magufuli, where they admire, one of the things we do, it cut down significantly on international travels. And he stay back and do those things were important for we people. I don't privilege for don't serve at the Ministry of Finance, so I know how expensive it is to finance these trips. This economy cannot support it, and I don't think say that the best way for usable resources. I think
so. Is Magufuli a president that Sierra Leone president should emulate from?
Yeah, I will. I will emulate many of his good examples. I'll get a few presidents that I admire. Magufuli was one.
Okay.
Kagame is another one. And then in Ghana, Rawlings was my idol.
Okay, so yes, because I mean, as we round up, I really do wonder for the Tanzania former president was able to do all of that inside 4 or 5 years without traveling to all of this country for go to debt and for go big money, but he be able for managing resources. And I feel
we will do the same in Sierra Leone. God be our helper.
Okay. Well, the people of Sierra Leone will always hold you accountable, just like the way we did.
Mark my lips.
Just like where we go for Judge President Bio, the people that go for Judge President Bio by what he don't do. This time around, the people, their voice matters. And this election, because Sierra Leone is at a crossroad, and we need that kind of leadership there we go can pull the people in from this abject poverty, because we don't go really down when you think about the international and global index in so many areas. Salonda really don't go down as we are Usa Onabi Lefam. I mean, not to me say so. I mean, it's out there. It's visible out there. So we need that kind of leader we go can give hope to Salon people there, not a bogus manifesto, because sometimes when you talk too much in your manifesto and you're not able to deliver, even if you're not able to deliver everything, we need a leader that will speak truth to the people of Sierra Leone, say, now this I've been promised, so, but I'll not be able to achieve all because of this, but if you not give me a chance, I'll be able to work with the balance. But we don't need a leader that will come and tell us that you don't do from A to Z, and when Sierra Leoneans are looking at the reality and you haven't even done A to B. So, I mean, some of these things we get for all una accountable. This time around, we get for all we leaders them accountable, because thank God for the internet. Even without being in Sierra Leone, we know all what's going to happen inside Sierra Leone. So we are watching our leaders, and the people will speak 2023. So finally, what you get for tell the people of Sierra Leone, if you aspiring for the highest position in the country, and also what would you have to say to your comrade APCN with regards to your flag bearer race?
Thank you very much, fellow Sierra Leoneans. I think the time for change is now. Our country has been polarized. Our country is being impoverished. Our people are suffering. We need redemption. We need a new birth. We need to go back and start from that which characterized the real Sierra Leone, the Athens of West Africa. I present myself as your humble servant, ready to make that difference. God be my helper. We shall build a team. We shall unite this country. We shall address those issues that concern us. We shall prioritize Sierra Leone. We shall put our country first. We shall put our people first. We shall ensure that we build a country that we can all be proud of. Together, we can make it. Together, we can build a better, resilient, and more vibrant economy. And together, we can make Sierra Leone, the land that we love, a lovely and blessed place. May the Lord help us as we strive to achieve that.
All right, he is Dr. Richard Konteh, APC flag bearer for 2023 election, where they call the unifier. And, in statements, the whole of this interview has been unity, unity, unity. And honestly, without him being here, I think that this is one thing that we need as Sierra Leonean, taking party aside, because the country is so divided and polarized than ever before. So we need a leader who can bring we together, first thing first. And I appreciate that you're able to tell we say that will be your first priority, to unite the people of Sierra Leone. And that is what we want, because unity now in the bring all of the good things, because when we are united as a country, then we'll be able to work together rather than sabotage each other. we'll be able to work in unity. So we appreciate that. For those of you who have been on the program, seeing our comments them and everything, we appreciate that. We appreciate our comments. And for the one that we're back home when they watch the Star TV, we say thank you now for watching this program. And Dr. Richard Konteh don't making case to the people of Sierra Leone. Dr. Richard Konteh don't making case to the APCN comrades, and it is up to everyone in the APC or the APCN for decide and choose whether they will support the unifier come 2023. So thank you very much. Thank you, Dr. Richard Konteh. It's been a pleasure as always. And I wish you good luck. I wish you good luck.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you.
And I want to say thank you to my viewers. Till next week, keep telling it to Rachel.
Skiddy boom pantan, ragga spice. Get used to this. Whoa. Fire. We never them then they take free money. We never them no they sorry for it. We never them no broke down the country. Every time you go, people they cry say we never them na so like lie. We never them make we country they cry. We never them no broke down the country. Every time you go, people they cry say say let them go. If no go, we country no go good. Let them go. If no go, we go die pampo. The way the system they go, we not be putting us so if I go. The way the system they go, we not be putting us so if I go. I said the two ship rest when I give it, they tiff and they sell and they put all of them pockets. United Nations until they tiff with money and they fly like a rocket. Now we don't tire with the violence power. We don't tire for the jobless power. For we right to go protest power. For we right to the protest power. Every day thing they be out.
Family, I just want for address some of the comments them where they come up Jalinko they talk and other people and they ask me. So let me just clear it today. This program is for everybody. It's for every Sierra Leonean, be you in government, be you in the private sector. It's for everybody, even the current government. But I just want to make it clear. Say, I mean, sometimes we really want the reaction of the government officials then, or even the spokesperson of the government for clear some of them things they are where they come up every day. But honestly, I want to tell me viewers them and the people that we're concerned say we reach out to them all the time, but then they can't because I mean some of us ask tough questions probably where they might not like, and we see how they tend to control the narratives of the media. Not only media where they're comfortable to go, that's where they go and tell their stories. That's where they go and tell whatever they want to tell to Salone people there. So they don't come, we invite them, but they come. I know that. When they call them, they reach out to the government of the day, the officials there, but they don't come because they're not comfortable, with the tough questions. It is only where they're comfortable. And I know the traditional media where they Salone, but they don't come to our own platform because, I mean, some of us will definitely have asked the tough question. So that is why sometimes you don't see, many of them here because they come. We don't reach out to them so many times, but they're not comfortable with some of us because they ask the real questions that we Salone people in, one for hearing, and one for know, and one for understand. So I just want to clear that one.
Skiddy boom pantan, ragga spice. Get used to this. Whoa.
To me, let me ask you this. The money that I went and sweat, waking up 6 o'clock in the morning in the winter in the United Kingdom to go on set, under the freezing cold, my own personal money, as I sit here as the First Lady of Sierra Leone, I am not being paid. You want me to take my personal money to put lights in Bo and Kenema?
Yes.
Are you serious?
Whilst you are looking for funds.
Now we do. But then, when we pass 2023 now, when we don't pass 2023, we now need to make sure, say, we do the right thing for the people of this country. Yes. We do what the people are asking us to do. Yes. We focus We now live on with selfishness them. Then one day we deal within the party where they feel say it only get for be them. We get for tell them say no, please. Now we do. But then when we pass 2023 now, when we don't pass 2023, we now need to make sure say we do the right thing for the people of this.
You know say plenty people no get for votes the time for election. Not because they no want for vote, but now because of this simple mistake where I can't tell you what so, now it go make plenty people no vote. Right now, as the Electoral Commission Salon don't pull the date for votes and for register, plenty people just the yagba and they rush go do things them as then they tell them for do. But hey, members say registration, the voter registration, they begin from the 3rd of September to the 4th of October 2022. Then a number one step we go give you guarantee say you go vote. But if you make mistake during this time, you no go for vote. And I think this way person no go able for help people. What in this mean? It means say no ever register na the area where you dey work, do business, or where you dey go school. You know what it make? You don't know. Sometimes the time for the election, then go say public transport not for run. This na big challenge for you. Remember, if you tap na Kalbaton and then you dey work na Lomley, how you go able for go and vote na that side? You go able for waka? The answer na no. So, no make that mistake there. As them blow the whistle when they say, hey, today na the 3rd of September for begin the voter registration. Do ya try by all possible means for register na the center where they near you house. So the day when they go say for voting, whether Mutuka deal, Mutuka not deal, not to you business. You dey go full na morning, vote, return back na you house. So you see, if you make this mistake, the possibility go they say you no go vote 2023. So waiting at this yagba now for say me party go continue for then a power or me party go return a power if I'm not able for vote. You want vote, they change the whole situation.